Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Arc. I'm Talia Goodman here with Genesis Bryant. As always, so much to talk about this week, right? We had a loaded feast week last week. Plenty of teams kind of rising in the rankings, dropping in the rankings. Texas is number two. I think they should be number one, but they're number two right now, and they'll take it, right? But a really loaded week of basketball. How was your Thanksgiving and your feast week, Genesis?
Well, my feast week was a feast. I enjoyed a good spread of Thanksgiving dinner, turkey, ham, and everything you could think of, but also some great basketball. So it was cool to kind of have both. I was in South Carolina for the week, well, for a couple of days. So stay with just rest, enjoy basketball, and get some good sleep.
My parents just moved to South Carolina, so I love it there, and I'm jealous.
Okay.
Good weather, good spots, so
Right.
jealous of that. I was also in a little bit of a warmer climate. I was in Vegas for the
Mhm.
Players Era tournament, and it was a blast. Other than, I didn't have too much luck in the casino, but other than that, it was a blast. Got to be with my
Mhm.
family, which is always great, and watch
Yeah.
some pretty good basketball that we're going to kind of break down today. The one downside is I swear to God, I had like six different streaming services just to watch all of these games. Like, can we
Yeah.
all just agree on putting them all on Flow Hoops, then I'll just buy it for the month and knock that out, or like put them all on regular TV, like one or the other, just so that my
Right.
wallet doesn't suffer so much.
Same thing, girl. I mean, I had to look at YouTube to kind of watch the games back. So thankful for those streaming people that whoever put on YouTube. But yeah, it's hard. We got all these different sites.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get into Feast Week and break all that down. But before we get into that, something else happened at the beginning of this week. It was the first release of the net rankings, which is the NCAA evaluation tool. And this happens every year. The first one comes out, people freak out because of who, the number one team typically is, or someone shouldn't be in the top five that is in the top five of the net. And everyone, takes it so seriously. And this is a tool that the committee uses to determine seeding who gets into the tournament. It's one of many. It's not the only tool they use, but
Mhm.
that's why people take it seriously because this is something that the committee uses. So fair enough. But this is a tool that's not meant to be used in December. It's meant to be used in March when the sample size is bigger and things have
Mhm.
adjusted, right? Uh, but looking at it on December 1st is certainly interesting and kind of helps you uncover because we don't have the formula that they use. We don't know
Mhm.
exactly the formula, but it helps you uncover kind of some of what that formula is. And they did change some things about the net. So I want to just talk about kind of what it is,
Mhm.
how it'll impact teams, whatever that might be. So I was reading up. I did this last year and then kind of refreshed myself this year. It used to be like five different factors they use. Now there's just two. So I'm going to read
Mhm.
straight off so I don't screw anything up. It says the remaining factors include the team value index, which is a result-based feature that rewards teams for beating quality opponents, particularly away from home, as well as an adjusted net efficiency rating. The adjusted efficiency is a team's net efficiency adjusted for strength of opponent and location across all games played. For example, a given efficiency value, net points per 100 possessions, against stronger opposition rates higher than the same efficiency against lesser opponents, and having a certain efficiency on the road rates higher than the same efficiency at home. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I believe it based on, I mean, you look at the net right now and you see LSU at number one, and I think they're a very good team. I really do. And I think they're going to be great in conference play. But who the heck have they played so far that makes them worthy of being number one? Like you say it accounts for strength of schedule and the opponents you play, but it sounds like it values, margin of victory and those points
Mhm.
per possession versus opponent points per possession a lot more than the opponents that you're playing, right? Am I crazy for thinking that?
Yeah, that's kind of how it went. I didn't know that they changed it from five to two. I know our first year, Illinois, we really had like a really easy non-conference. We went undefeated on our non-conference, but that got us like top 20 in the country in net ranking. So I think it has a lot to do with the way like you're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Like that's what they always talk about. Like beat who you're supposed to beat,
And beat
and
them
like
by a
especially
lot.
on the way. And to
Yeah.
beat them by a lot, and then away when you beat somebody on their home court, that matters more than like your home court. That's why you always got to defend home court. So those are the two factors. Probably LSU. I mean, they've been what over plus 100. How many games in a row? So
Every game, but I put out their schedule. They haven't even played a top 100 net opponent yet. Like their strength of schedule is one of the worst in the country, and that's not a knock on them. Like if Kim
mhm,
Mulkey cared about the rankings, she would schedule tougher in November. Clearly, she doesn't, and that's
mhm,
her purview. The SEC has a really tough schedule.
yeah.
Uh, I admire them being in that conference and playing all those tough games in conference play, but it doesn't make for very entertaining non-conference play, first of all. And just kind of what does this say about the metric that can
Mm-hmm.
determine who gets into the tournament, right? Like, how do you, obviously things change by March and the rankings
Mm-hmm.
adjust every day, but how do you feel about kind of the net as a whole? How do you think we should use it as a tool?
I don't know if you're following college football that closely, but I think this is what's happening in college football as well. Like people are getting penalized from scheduling these big games and losing. It's like now they have opportunities in like Texas not be able to go to the college football playoffs. And I think that's what's going to start happening if they don't find a different way of measuring these things because people will just play lower level seeding,
I
lower
was gonna
level
say,
teams.
is this the method that everyone's gonna start following now?
Yeah.
And we'll
Because
keep
it's like, yeah, I mean, if it's showing that you get one in the country and you haven't played a top 100 net team yet, it's like we all should just do it. So it's like
right.
it has its pros and cons for sure.
Yeah, I think, and I tweeted this out earlier, I think analytics can be so helpful and they're really fun to look at and kind of either affirm or deny some of the things that you believe, right? I think they're
Right.
helpful for that, but I think they should be used as a supplemental tool, especially when it
Hmm.
comes to determining who makes the NCAA tournament.
Hmm.
Like if the stats you're looking at are not matching up with what we see, what we're watching, the results, the resume, it shouldn't trump that, right? Like it should be
For
something
sure.
using in addition to those things. And so they're definitely entertaining to look at. And I think, LSU is a very good team. I'm not trying to knock on them at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but then being number one, especially over, UConn, Texas, UCLA, South Carolina right now, with the schedule they played,
Hmm.
wouldn't make sense in any other ranking uh,
Yeah.
at the moment. But we'll see how it kind of evolves. I was kind of tracking it even from last night's game that Villanova played
Hmm.
against West Virginia, seeing where they moved after that win. And I just think
Hmm.
it's interesting to see because I think they were 37 and they moved to 23. So that's a big jump for one game.
Hmm. Yeah.
Curious, like I love looking at it every day and just seeing, trying to figure out, right, like what it is that's determining where they move. Um, Definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't take it too seriously, especially in December, and I urge you all not to
Hmm.
either right now. Uh,
Yeah.
but it is important and something that I thought we should just talk about for a minute here. But
Yeah.
on to Feast Week, right? On to Feast Week. The
Be sweet.
winner of Feast Week is who, Genesis? Who's the winner?
The winner of Feast Week is Texas. Texas, I mean, good Lord. Beating South Carolina and UCLA back to back.
Back-to-back days. Oh my
I
God.
mean,
It was a crazy
I,
48 hours. It
I
was
don't know who has done that like that. Like two top, well, that was three teams, top four teams in the country, back to back like that. I mean, that was remarkable. That definitely, like you said, I think I might have them at one. I know it's hard because UConn
yeah.
didn't lose to drop them, but for what they did, I think that deserves number one.
I've tried to explain this in the best way I can, but I don't follow the mindset that like you're the defending champ, you're preseason number one, you have to stay there until you lose. That's
Hmm.
not my mindset. It's if you've won better games, if
Hmm.
you've shown me what a number one team would do, you deserve to be number one. And it's not a knock on the previous number one team. It's not like I'm purposely knocking them down. I'm putting
Hmm.
a team up more so.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense because
it does.
people don't understand what I'm saying, and it's hard to articulate kind of my
Hmm.
view on it. But I think Texas is number one. You
Hmm.
beat number two, you beat number three, you deserve to be number one, especially
Yeah,
back-to-back days on a neutral court, right?
right.
Really impressive stuff. Um, those games were really fun. Which one did you have more fun, watching, or which one do you think is more impressive on Texas's end?
I think UCLA.
Yeah.
Because I think we were talking earlier, we were talking about how UCLA and UConn feel like they're in a bracket and they're, above everyone else. But now seeing they beat them by, I mean, they were up by 23 at one point. So the final score doesn't really do the justice that it should. So it's like the way that they just came in and just attacked them on both ends of the court. I even said, I don't know if I'll get slack for this, but I think that Texas is the number one defensive team in the country.
Okay.
Just the way that they're playing defense, the way that they're stopping like prominent players, to me, it feels like as a cohesive unit, they have the best defense in the country.
No, they're really good at forcing turnovers, and they're even
Hmm.
better at scoring off of those turnovers.
Yeah.
Like they average 29.9 points off of turnovers so far this
Hmm.
season. And that felt very clear in both games that they played, last week, but especially that UCLA one, I would say. And just being able to stop someone like Lauren Betts, right? Like
Right.
not a lot of teams can say they're really
Mm-mm.
able to stop her. And she shot that, like she was 4 of 8, I think 50%,
Mm-hmm.
but she was not able to get the ball in her hands a lot.
Mm-mm.
Like
Yeah.
what they were able to do to her is something that we don't see a lot of teams do. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
what impressed me the most about that game. Their second half performance was a little shaky, and they're
Mm.
lucky they got ahead by enough, right, to kind of that. They played hard early, so they didn't have to worry about it too much in the second half. Although it
Right.
was like 4 points at one point. I
Yeah.
thought coming back, um, but that was a really fun game. I
Mm-hmm.
think I had more fun personally being at the game against South Carolina because of just how competitive that was. Came
Mm-hmm.
down to literally the buzzer, the final second of that.
Right.
Corey Harmon with the mid-range jumper
Yeah.
for the win. It was just such a fitting way to end that game. Like these
Mm-hmm.
are two like teams that will compete against each other
Mm-hmm.
probably multiple times this season.
Right.
I'll be there for the next one, and then probably in conference play, maybe in the tournament, right? So we might see
Mm-hmm.
them 4 times. And I was just really impressed with how Texas was able to do that shorthanded, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they are without 3 players that they were expected to be with later in the season. It's not like
Right.
the Carolina situation where there are 2 players out for the year, which obviously hurts, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't impact their kind of year outlook.
Mm-hmm.
Texas was playing with a 7-man rotation, and was able to do that. Like, I think that just speaks so much to the potential of this group when,
Mm-hmm.
like, knock on wood, they're healthy.
Yeah, and I think I mean we know South Carolina, we know Don's team, we know Don and Vic have been battling the SEC since Vic was at Mississippi State, so they know each other quite well. I think they play similar type of games. They don't really shoot a three ball like that. They rely on paint touches, getting to the foul line, just being defensively sound, and that's how they get their deflections and steals. But I think it's. I'll be interested to see, like you said, we know for sure two, but probably even three, maybe four more times they meet to see how they kind of counter, like use this film and then see what kind of things they do in the future meetings. But I think this will be a fun one, definitely to be watching the SEC.
Yeah, you mentioned that they don't shoot a lot of threes. I was looking before this, and Texas is averaging the second least 3-point attempt rate, which is it's just 18.3% of all the shots that they take are 3 point.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that number go up a little bit because I actually think they have more capable shooters this year. Even Rory Harmon showing off her shot in that UCLA game. They have a few pieces off the bench who can shoot it. Aaliyah Crump can shoot it. She's out right now, but she'll come back and get her shot going, I hope. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd like to see them shoot it a little bit more, but like they don't need to, right? Like they've done pretty well without it. They did pretty well last year without it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
another facet of the game you can add to help on the offensive end so that
Yeah.
players got to follow you a little bit more. But
Yeah.
enough about, of us yapping about Texas on our own. We had the pleasure of talking to one of the stars of the week. Rory Harmon was one, but we talked to Madison Booker all about the Players Era tournament, what that was like for her, what those 2 wins do for the season. And we're going to bring her in now for that conversation. All right, and now we are going to welcome in Madison Booker. Madison, you have had a heck of a last 7 days, right? I was just saying before we started recording here, I was in Vegas, boots on the ground, watching you guys do what I don't. And Vic said this. I don't know if any team has ever done this ever, right? Where you beat two top
Yeah,
in back-to-back days within 48 hours. I guess just to start off, what has this week been like for you?
I mean, honestly, a long week, actually. I mean, as you know, we only have really a 9 player rotation. We played 7 players back in Las Vegas, so we've been very short right now, but I would say we're very locked in to what our end goal is, I would say.
I know this is early in the season, it's November, but what do those 2 wins kind of say about this team this year?
I think for us, it just kind of reminds us that, we can do something great here, especially this year for this program. And, when we're actually locked in, when we're playing team defense, when we're like doing things good on offense, we're getting rebounds that we can actually kind of take it a step farther and get better and maybe win championships this year too.
Yeah, I mean, your schedule so far has been, not light by any means. You had those two, and then I think people overlook Richmond a lot and what you guys were able to do
Yeah.
with them. Your schedule hasn't been easy. You have North Carolina coming up, so a chance to be when you think about it, the team that was picked first in the Big Ten, South Carolina, who's obviously on top of the SEC with you guys, and then North Carolina. Like that is maybe one of the toughest stretches, right? How do you feel like that helps prepare you, not only for SEC play, but potentially playing South Carolina a few more times this year, right?
No, I mean, we look back at those two games. I would say we definitely played like UCLA very well in the first half. Second half was mistakes. It was mental lapse. And South Carolina too. We looked at those our mistakes, and we see them as we made a lot of mistakes. And teams also have that film too, and they're going to be looking at those mistakes. And we just played a well coached Penn State team
Hmm.
Sunday, and we made a lot of mistakes that game too. We were missing shots. We had a lot of mistakes on the our defensive end, but right now it's like we have to capitalize on our mistakes. We can't turn one mistake to plenty mistakes, and that's kind of what we're learning as a team right now from these past three games this past week. So we're trying to take that into like the UNC game.
As a former player, I understand everyone knows the on the court stuff, but kind of switching off the court, how would you describe the personality of this team off the court?
Oh, we love each other, and it's a fun to play with them on the court too, but also to hang out with them off the court. I think that I think it kind of showed too in Las Vegas when UCLA was coming back from a 20 point from being down by 20 points. I think we stay very composed, but I mean in practice too. Like like our practice guys are kicking our butt. Like we're not getting frantic or anything. We're very close. Like we know what to say. Like we know what to say to each other. We know how to calm somebody down or step to the side and kind of get the team back together. So our chemistry is very well, especially in those moments where it's kind of getting very frantic. And
Hmm.
it's I think it's also good too when your head coach don't really have to say anything. Like
Hmm.
he knows the players are going to talk to each other and get kind of everybody calm. So
Yeah.
I would say we love each other to death.
I mean, you can tell, not even on the court, but off too. I was saying after your press conference, after I think it was the South Carolina game, you were very entertaining to watch and to listen to. And I said that to Vic right after. I was like, she's so much fun to watch, but like listening to her is just as fun because your personality really comes through and kind of the banter that you have with your teammates there, and you talking about Rory. Obviously, she had the big shot in the at the end of the
Yeah.
game, which was incredible to watch and see in person. What's it been like getting to play with her and learn from her? And I know we talked about this a little bit your sophomore year when I came up to Austin, but how has that relationship just kind of evolved?
I mean, I've learned so much. I mean, I've told people all the time that I came to Texas to play with a good point guard, which was Rory Harmon. And, my first year here didn't go as planned. She tore ACL throughout the season, the middle of the season. So, it wasn't fun. But we got through it. But I think that's kind of where the connection started building was when she was off the court and I was on the court and I was going through a tough time trying to learn a new position on the court. And she's just been in my ear the entire time that whole season, just kind of giving me. We'll watch film together. We'll talk about things together. Just kind of sit on the bench before the game and talk about the game plan and about what coach wants, things like that. And that's kind of how we got our connection growing. Then the next year, how she was still recovering from her ACL, trying to get back healthy, trying to get back to her full self. Just me, just seeing her like that and making sure that her head was straight and things of that. So I would say it's definitely it's growing a lot, and I think now where she's back to feeling good to herself, and we have some great teammates, some great options. I think we're having fun on the court together too.
That's dope. I love how you talked about Rory. What about Coach Vic? Like, how is it to play under him? Like,
Oh my
what's
goodness,
maybe something we don't know about Coach
Now, give
Vic?
us the
I,
dirt on
I
Vic.
man, I absolutely love Coach Vic. I think the reason why I also came here too was to play for a coach that wants to win, and I like if you don't like see him outside of games or practice, he's always watching film. He always wants to learn. He always wants to see, the mistakes that we probably miss when watching team film together. He wants to kind of know every team little detail where we can attack him at in the game. But I mean, he's a fun person and he wants to compete. He wants to win. And I love playing for a coach like that puts in all the work, on his side. And I mean, that's easy for me just kind of like come and practice and work hard for him and play defense. That defense is very is a lot. In my
Yep.
freshman year, I was honestly stressing out. Like I cannot do this. But no, I mean I love him. When he was in Mississippi State, I went to go Mississippi State. So but I think just kind of coming here and like getting to know him, he's a great guy off the court. I don't think people will really understand. He's very calm, which is very different. He's very
Okay.
calm off the court too. He's very
Yeah,
like
he's
a
not ripping
fish.
the jacket off the court. That's not happening.
Yeah, like that's not him. He's very calm. He's a chill guy. But no, I love Coach Vic and he's done so much with just my growth here as, not as just a basketball player, but a person, like
Mm.
off the court too. So I love him for that always.
I
Oh.
think one of my favorite little things that I see from him is, and I saw it in Vegas, kind of for the first time realized it, is that he takes like a full minute to look over the box score of the game, and you guys are just sitting there like, oh no, what's he circling? What's he back
Circling or squaring over there. Yeah. I mean,
about it?
that's just his attention to details. He's such a guy that's you're like the details you miss or you mess up, it could really cost you in a game, in a tight game.
Mhm.
And we're probably gonna have so many tight games this year too. So he's always focused on how many possessions did we give up, how many shots
Mm.
or free throws did we miss, fast break points. And his biggest thing is like out of bounds, like execution for us on offense. Like, are we making about 8 points on that end? Are we giving up 8 points when they're
Mm.
also like inbounding the ball? So he's always with the details, and that's what probably like that's my top for playing with him. He's always worried about the ghosts. He wants to win everything. I love that.
Did you
Well,
get
I
to
would
do anything
say, oh,
fun?
go
Did you
ahead.
get to do anything fun in Vegas in between or after? Did you go celebrate? Did you enjoy Vegas?
It was a very quick trip. We really didn't do anything. I mean, we ate after a game at Hard Rock Cafe. We went to a steakhouse. So, I mean, really, just the food was the only thing that we got to really experience.
Next year,
Got you.
right? Maybe next year.
Maybe, hope so.
So we know Madison Booker, the basketball player, but outside of basketball, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm honestly chilling. I have two cats.
Okay.
They
Cats?
they bring my entertainment. Yes, Max and Phoenix, a tabby brown and a gray. They're both males.
Okay.
They're my TV show sometimes. So I'm watching a lot of cat fights and things of that. But I mean, I'm also a hobby I picked up in college was Lego building for sure. A
Okay.
lot of a lot of Legos. But yeah, I mean, I'm really just chilling. I think now I've kind of gotten out of my selfish my selfish shell and started spending time with my teammates a lot. And
Yeah.
I think
Mm.
I don't know if like y'all could tell on the court that we're having so much fun together, but like I said, our
Hmm.
chemistry, like we love each other to death. So
How do you
yes,
how do you take care of two cats? I'm in college now, and all I want is a pet. And I'm like, I don't have enough time to take care of a pet.
I I feel like cats are very independent. They're very like they want to take care of themselves, and I'm fine with that right there. We all be taking care of our stuff around there, but yeah, they're very independent. They're very low maintenance.
Yeah, maybe I
I
should.
mean, one of my cats, I forget that he's there. He just goes up in the living room and sits there and watch TV. So
I love it.
yeah, no, they're cool.
What are some of your kind of personal goals for the year? Because I know like from talking to you and hearing you guys speak, like the ceiling is very
Yeah,
high for this team, obviously. I got you guys
yeah.
number one in the country right now. The ceiling is high. But what are your kind of personal goals?
Ah, I mean, I feel like the standard's been set high for me already. Preseason NC Player of the Year, All American. I think, I don't kind of focus on those too much. Right now, I'm focused on just doing what my team needs me to do, and that's be aggressive on the offensive end and score the ball and play defense and help them out. So, and be a leader. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
definitely growing in that personal goal right there, is being a leader.
Mm.
Just kind of talking to my teammates through like tough times throughout the games or even outside basketball too. Just make sure I'm being there for them as a leader. So I think I would say I'm close to achieving that personal goal right there.
Now, I would say to that point, what are some ways that you want to grow on the court? I mean, you're already killing it this year, but what are some things you're like, I need to do this a little bit better?
I think for me I would say I'm very passive. I mean, me and my coach talk about that a lot. That I'm just extremely passive, and I try to tell coach like one way to get me going is getting my team going. Like I'm always a team player. Like I want to see my team succeed before I see myself succeed, and
Mm.
so that's just kind of how like I play basketball. So like he's like no, like I need you to score the ball. And I'm still learning how when to pass the ball, when to score, when to
Mhm.
be aggressive, like just things of that factor. So I think that just comes with watching a lot of film and just still learning my game. Like I said, I have so much to learn about. I still have many skill sets I haven't unlocked yet. So still working.
Well, you're doing a great job at it. Your team obviously looks so good. Like I said, you were so much fun to watch. And I can't believe like you did all that 3 players down. Like you didn't have available. Like I can't imagine what this team is going to look like when you're
I
healthy and get everyone back.
I would say that's just a credit to our practices, honestly. Our
Mm.
practices are very fast paced and very competitive. We have a drill called Longhorn. It's sometimes 4 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, and it's just straight up and down, no foul calls or anything. And we'll do it with each other or with like versus our practice guys. And I would say everybody on this team hates to lose. Like we don't want to lose that game. Like
Mm.
it's like we want to score, we want to win, we want to beat our practice guys, we want to beat each other. And I would say that's kind of where we kind of that's this year where I saw where our chemistry grew a lot was in the Longhorn drills and when we were having fun, we were beating the other team was getting mad and like they were like playing harder, like we were making each other better. And I saw it like the scores increased day by day, defense increased, just like the team chemistry and just you saw people just like being very like
Yeah.
ready to practice, going hard, just like giving it their all. So I would say that's credit to just Coach Shaver's practices.
I know every team has a jokester. So who is y'all jokester on y'all team?
It's a
It's
lot of people,
you. Come on,
honestly.
it's you.
No. Honestly, it's Bree and Jordan,
Yeah.
Bree Preston and Jordan Lee.
Okay.
Those are our people where we need like a funny moment, just look towards them, and they got it. They got it for
Got
sure.
you.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited to see what you guys are able to do for the rest of the season. I'll see the same matchup I saw in Vegas. You play in South Carolina. I'll be there in Columbia, so I'll see you then. And I'm excited to
Yes.
watch what you do the rest of the year.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. Always a pleasure to talk to Madison Booker. I said this to her, but she's so entertaining not only to watch on the court, but to hear speak and to talk to. I think she's just got such a great personality. And that's like what makes the faces of women's college basketball now, right? Like it's obviously what you do on the court, but like it's the the court stuff too that makes them so fun to follow and keep up with. And I think she's definitely one of the stars of women's college basketball right now.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we know the player, but knowing the person makes you like the player more. So I think Madison is a great depiction of that, and so many different players in college basketball right now.
1000%. Well, I want to get to our next team that we want to talk about. These are teams, by the way, whose stock we feel like has risen. Whether it's just from Feast Week or since the season started, we feel like their stock is up. These are mostly due to these Feast Week results, but kind of in general too. I just feel better about these teams after watching them more, right?
Mhm.
Next one I want to hit on is Maryland, the Maryland Terrapins. They had a really big win against Kentucky in Feast Week that kind of followed up a stretch of wins against some good mid-majors, including Princeton, who's in my
Mhm.
top 25 currently, who I think is, truly one of the best mid-majors in the sport.
Yeah.
They have a heck of a resume now, right? Like a win over Kentucky, like that's a very, very good win to
Mhm.
have as we enter December.
Yeah, and they have so many good pieces. I mean, Smickle is doing great for this team as a transfer. Addie Mack. I mean, even guarding Yarzan, I feel like she's still kind of getting acclimated. I would like to see her continue to be a little more aggressive on offense, but they're doing all this without Bree McDaniel. And Bree McDaniel is one of the key pieces from last year. I know she's still rehabbing from a leg injury. So I'm looking forward to see like when she comes back and how that will happen, whether and sometimes, honestly, when you have a team that's on the stretch, and you kind of add a new piece. Sometimes it takes some bumps, kind of getting used to that lineup and stuff like that. And then sometimes it just adds to the fuel to the fire. So we will never know which way it goes. But I think Maryland definitely has a great upsize, especially going to Big Ten play. I mean, the gauntlet of the Big Ten. I'm excited to see how they match up against Big Ten talent who knows how Maryland plays.
Right. Yeah, it's their depth for me that you kind of just alluded to there. Like they have so many options that if someone's having an off night, it doesn't matter as much, right?
Right.
Yardinger's on and I've watched her here for 3 years at Indiana and she can shoot the crap out of it. And it just hadn't really been falling for her over there yet. She had a really big game against Kentucky, so I'm glad to see her get going because I think she can add so much to this group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would love to see McDaniel back, but Addie Mack, like, holy crap! I wasn't expecting her to be this good. I knew she would be good and
Mm-hmm.
thought she would play, but I didn't expect her to be this like crucial to their success this early on, right? She's playing such a big role, and it's a big deal to
Mhm.
trust a freshman with that kind of responsibility, and she's really delivered so far. So she's one of the freshmen. I tweeted it out. That I feel like is not getting enough attention. She's impressed me one of the most of all the.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's hard. I mean, but actually, I'm starting to realize there's a lot of freshmen stepping up this year. I think just with the transfer portal and teams being so new, I think that kind of gives an advantage to freshmen because they're not battling against these 4 or 5 year seniors that have been in the system, but everyone is learning. So I feel like it's kind of more of an even kind of footstool for freshmen to come in. We're seeing how this is kind of benefiting them.
And a freshman's a lot harder to scout, right? Like you don't know what you're
Hmm.
getting when you're playing against them, so they have the opportunity to go off. And I think it was that Georgetown game that she went nuts.
Hmm.
And I think part of that was it's early in the season. People don't have a lot of tape on her to
Yeah.
go through, so she can surprise some people. And I think she's even still surprising some people, which
Oh
is
yeah.
surprising to me since she's been so good. But yeah, I think Maryland stock up after this
Hmm.
week. I have them in my top five now. Um, I don't know if they'll stay there. We'll see. But I think they've earned
Hmm.
that spot with what they've done so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Very impressive. Next one, North Carolina. They earned three really good wins this feast week, including
Hmm.
over a team that I'd previously had in my top 25, which is South Dakota State. A
Hmm.
very, very, very good mid-major that I think people overlook way too much. That's a very good win for them. Kansas State is a little, we've talked about weird this year, so I don't know how much stake we'll put into that one. Uh,
Yeah.
but South Dakota State and Columbia was the other one, I believe, who was a very good mid-major as well.
Hmm.
Those are just two really good wins to have. Like it's not like,
Hmm.
and this is my scheduling philosophy. You do not have to schedule a top 10 team in your non-conference if you don't want to. But
Hmm.
schedule a top 50 team. Schedule two or three top 50 teams. Test yourselves. Get yourself ready
Yeah.
for conference play, right? Like
Hmm.
and I honestly like and I know my opinion means whatever with my rankings, but like I do not punish teams for playing good games. I don't. Like
Yeah.
play the good games. We just said it with college
Hmm.
football. Play the good games, please.
No, I agree. I think UNC, I mean, when you look at the ACC, I think at the beginning, everyone was like, okay, Duke,
Right. The
between NC
ACC.
State, Notre Dame, yep, and then UNC. But now I feel like I'm curious to see how they do with Texas on Thursday. Do I think they'll win? I don't think so. But if they keep this game close, I think that will, like competitive, I think that will definitely push them up going into ACC play.
I love the ACC SEC challenge. I know the ACC is a little bit weaker this year, but I think it's a really good chance for some of those ACC teams to get their momentum back, right? Like you
Right.
look at a Miami, you look at a Duke, they need that.
Hmm.
They need that momentum. And I want to talk about Miami now because they had some really tough games over the past week
Hmm.
and a half. They had Iowa, then they had a really close one with Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Like these are not games that they're supposed to win. And so I wasn't expecting them to. I also don't know if I was expecting them to keep it as close as they did. They really impressed me, and I really like what they've been able to do. I
Mhm.
think I had them as the sixth or seventh best team in the ACC. They've moved up for me from there.
Okay.
And I think they're going to make the NCAA tournament. Like, I would be surprised if they didn't. And I look at these close results as a
Mhm.
positive, not a negative by any means.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think Shay was a great addition to them from Florida. I mean, she's averaging 16.6 points, 9.7 rebounds, flirting with a double double, and just the way that she runs as a post player. I think her ability to get down the court, set great screens. She's beautiful in the pick and roll offense. I mean, I think she has been a very great addition for this Miami team, and I'm just curious to see how she continues. Like, because like I said, she came from the SEC, so the ACC don't really have that much film on her being at Miami. So that'll be curious to see how like they match up with her size, but also her versatility.
Yeah, and I think, they loaded up in the portal, and one of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
additions, not even just for Miami, but for anyone in the country, is Gal Revive, who came from Quinnipiac. A lot of people hadn't watched her last year, and they should have, because she was
Yeah.
so dynamic. She always had the ball in her hands. Her role looks maybe a
Mm-hmm.
little bit different. She's not quite as much this year,
Mm-hmm.
but she
Right.
adjusted to it really well. And obviously, she's played at a really high level for her national team. She
Mm-hmm.
You can trust her with the ball, and she did make kind of a silly play at the end of this game where she fouled when she shouldn't have, and it might have changed the. I don't know. I don't want to hypothesize. It might have changed the result. Maybe it would have. Maybe it wouldn't have. But she's such a fun player to watch, and I think she just adds so much attack to this team. Like she can do so much. She's so versatile on
Mm-hmm.
defense. She can pass the ball. She can score. Like she's just dynamic. And so I love watching her play, and I think they have a real chance at upsetting a couple teams this year.
I mean, they got Kentucky tomorrow, so we're tomorrow is the Wednesday, December 3rd. They have Kentucky at home. So that would be
It'll be
definitely
today, as you hear, right? It'll be today. They will face.
okay. Got you, got you. So they have Kentucky today. So looking forward to that one. I think, especially having home court advantage, I think they pull that one off. I think it'll be a close game, but I think they'll pull it off.
Ooh, you think Miami will win?
I think Miami will
I
win.
like it. I like that take. Okay. The one thing that concerns me about that is Kentucky's size. Like they're just huge. And I know Shea is huge too, but they're just overall, like I think I don't know. Them and TCU have got to be two of the tallest teams in the NCAA.
Yeah,
Wow.
they are tall for
They're
sure.
they're big and they can shoot it, they can stretch the floor. I don't know. I'd have to think more about that matchup, I think.
Okay.
But I think they could keep it close. I do. Like I
Mhm.
think they're going to be very motivated too after those two close losses. Like I think they're going to get there. It's just kind of a matter of when, and that's kind of the
Mhm.
thing with a lot of schools with so many transfers coming in. It's just about when, like when the
Right.
chemistry comes together.
That's true. But we'll see. We'll see. I definitely. So if you had to answer right now, what do you think?
I think Kentucky. I think Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay.
I think Kentucky's going to pull out the win here, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be
Let's
competitive.
see.
I think it'll be
Okay.
competitive.
Okay.
So I'm excited. Now we gotta watch it. We're gonna text about this during the game.
Yeah.
Perfect. But okay, now time to get into a few of our teams whose stock has fallen, stock down teams, if you will. And this like doesn't mean they're bad teams. This doesn't mean they won't rise in our stock, whatever, later on.
Mhm.
This is just kind of from what we've seen so far. And the one we have to start with, the most obvious choice of all time is Duke. What's going on? What's going on with Duke, Genesis? Tell me, what's going on with Duke?
They can't score. I think they go on routes where not they don't. I mean, I think it's hard when you don't have a lot of elite shooters too, because now what teams are doing, they're just packing the paint on them, and they're kind of like daring them to take the outside shot because they know what they want to get to. And I think losing 4 of their last 5 games, I mean, they was 7th in the preseason poll, and now they are totally out, and it's just beginning to be December. 3-5, but like you said, it's about to be December. This is what matters because as soon as you get into ACC play, your schedule gets wiped clean, and now is a new season, for sort of say. So I think they just have to get some momentum about them. I know it's tough when you lose 4 of the last 5 games, but I think offensively is where the biggest struggle is happening.
I want to put this into perspective really quick because at the time we're filming this right now, it is 6:18 on what Tuesday evening.
Yeah,
And UConn is playing at USF right now at this rate.
yeah.
And they're playing on the road at USF, and they're currently up 34 points in the third quarter. USF beat Duke in the same place on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not, certainly not a top 25 team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll get better. I
Mm-hmm.
hope they'll get better. Like they have so much promise. They returned a lot from last year. I think they need Emily Skinner back. And when I was in Vegas, I asked Carol Austin if there was any update on her timeline. She said no. So I don't know when Emily will be back, but I think
Mm-hmm.
they'll add a lot to this group. And so I'm hoping they get her back. And I hope they can elevate the ACC a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
it's having a down year this year. And
Right.
sucks. It's unfortunate, especially with this ACC SEC challenge coming up.
I agree.
But we'll see what happens with them. I think they just need some momentum. They need a
Mhm.
win that'll help them out going forward and get this
Yeah.
team kind of, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like get them riled up again. Get this team.
Yeah, get some momentum.
Yeah. Next up, I want to talk about West Virginia, who their stock rose
Yeah.
like enormously when they beat Duke. And
Mhm.
now Duke's stock has fallen, and so has theirs a little bit. Over Feast Week, they lost to Ohio State. Not a bad loss by any means.
Mhm.
One
Right.
possession score. Not a bad loss. I honestly like don't think I even dropped them that much in my rankings from that. That's a 50-50 game to me.
Mhm. Yeah.
50-50 to me on a neutral court. Don't blame them. Then
Mhm.
at the time we're recording Monday night, uh,
Mhm.
they suffered a loss at home to Villanova.
Yeah.
Now, Villanova, not a bad team. Not a
Mhm.
bad not a bad loss, but that is a game you should win. That is a game you should win if you're West Virginia, if you're a top 25 team. That's a game you should win. And they lost by double digits. I don't have the score in front of me. They lost 81 to 59.
Mhm.
That is like the opposite of what I would have projected that score to be. And props to Villanova.
Yeah.
Genuine props to Villanova. People love to crap on the Big East. I am not one of those people. I think the Big East is a very good league, and I think they're
Hmm.
getting better each year. Obviously, they've had some rough years, and the bottom of the league is
Hmm.
not as strong as some of the others. But Villanova looks good. Seton Hall looks good. Marquette looks all right. Obviously, you got UConn. Like, there's some good teams in that league, and I want to give my props to Villanova for that win because that is a heck of a win for them and a bad loss for West Virginia.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 81-59, but Villanova was up by 24 at one point in this game. So I think what I like to see the battles of different styles of play. So we know West Virginia like to turn you over, like to get into you, like to get buckets off of their defense. Well, Villanova has historically been a very disciplined team, low turnover team that take care of the ball. So it's like when a team that wants chaos play a team that's disciplined, which one comes out with the win? And we've been seeing that it's the
Who did we
disciplined
mention that?
teams.
We mentioned that last week with two teams.
Um,
Who it was? Another
Belmont, Ohio State, I think.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is like a theme. This is a recurring
Yeah.
theme. Is
Mhm.
discipline versus chaos. Who's come out on top in those matches? Has it been discipline or chaos?
Ohio State did that one.
They came out on top, and then we have Villanova now. So
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah. So it's a toss up.
we'll
We'll see.
50-50, and we'll tally it up at the end of the year.
Right.
But that
But
was
yeah, I think West Virginia just gotta get back into it. But yeah, that was a tough loss, but it can only be a lesson if they learn from it.
1,000%. Last team I want to hit on whose stock has fallen recently is Tennessee. And I think we saw this coming a little bit just from how they
Yeah.
started the season. I had hoped they would maybe learn from some of those close games and losses that
Hmm.
they had. Doesn't look like they're there yet with, the elite or with the top 10. I don't know. I don't want to call the whole top 10 elite, but they're not a top 10 team right now. Uh,
Yeah.
some people have them around 20. I have them like 15-ish. I think I'm maybe being a little kind at 15. I don't know. Like it's tough. They're one that's really tough for me to place because I think the potential is really high for them and they've shown like spurts of what you want to see. Um,
Yeah.
but they just are not quite there yet. They lost by 22 points at UCLA
Mhm.
and UCLA again, like that's why I kept them at 15 is I am not going to knock a team for playing a tough game,
Right.
especially
Hmm.
on the road against what I have as a top three team. That is, you are
Hmm.
supposed to lose that game. That's fine. It was just kind of the way that it went down. That was a
Hmm.
bit concerning for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is kind of similar to what I just said. Tennessee relies on turnovers. They rely on fast break points. They only had 13 points off of turnovers, only 5 fast break points the entire game. So I think that right there is a bulk of their offense. And when you take that away and make Tennessee be a half court team, I think they struggle in that. I think teams are going to start recognizing that and scouting that. And even with the press, I know, talking about the press.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on this press? What are your thoughts?
A lot of people are criticizing it. I think it has to be personnel based. Like I think last year
Mm.
it worked really well, right? And so a lot of people, know that that's what's coming, first of all. They can plan for
Right.
it a lot more than they could last year.
Right.
And it's just the personnel. They're really young this year. So it's
Hmm.
tough. Like they're not as disciplined in that way. Like they're maturing still. They're freshmen.
Yeah.
So you can't expect
Right.
them to be the team they were last year and fill those
Hmm.
roles as perfectly. In an ideal world, they would, and maybe they will as they grow throughout the year. But a lot of people are being very critical right now. I still am kind of like middled. I'm definitely lower on them than I was to start the season, but
Hmm.
I'm still there. I see what could happen.
Yeah.
I see the potential. Lastly, I want to talk about some teams whose kind of outlook stayed around the same after Feast Week, which, you'll take it. You'll take that after Feast Week. There are a lot of upsets. So you will take saying the same, especially if you are UCLA. Uh,
Hmm.
you know what? Like, they showed a lot of fight in that game against
Yeah.
Texas coming back.
Right.
Obviously, a terrible first half. But what they were able to do in the second shows you so much about their resilience, their mindset, their fight. And I
Hmm.
think that is something that you could really take from that matchup.
Yeah, no, it's just their balance. They're six deep. All six players are scoring 10 plus. I mean, Betts. I'm interested to see how she continues to adapt to how defense are playing her, because last year she was almost a 20-10 type of kid, but now 13-7, which still is still great numbers. But to see that drop, you can see that defenses are really keen on her, making it hard for her to get touches and, things of that nature. So I like to see how she continues to adapt to how defenses are playing her. And I think if she does do that, I think that UCLA gets better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Next up, we'll go rapid fire here. South Carolina. My opinion on them hasn't really changed. I might be like I don't know. No, I go back and forth with South Carolina. They have new pieces. There's work to be done. Dawn Staley said it herself, but they know what to do now, which I think is kind of the purpose of games like these. You identify what needs work. And, on a home court, they probably would have won that game against Texas. Say like, Texas would have won on home. I think it could have gone either way. Um, but what do you, I want to get your thoughts first, Genesis, so I don't say something without thinking. Genesis, what are your thoughts on South Carolina?
I think they have to continue to get comfortable with each other.
Yeah,
Tanaya, she's coming off having to average 30 to now trying to figure out this new type of role. First of all, Joyce, she looks elite. She looks very
yeah.
great right
Oh my
now.
God. And Medina too. They both of the
Yes.
players I think look very good.
Yes. And I think Raven, she's a great facilitator. She does her job well, but I think this year they're going to need her to score more.
Agreed. Agreed. No, I think that is part of what it comes down to. And I think like the matchup with Texas exposed a few of the things that need work. Um,
Right.
and I'd like to see Tanaya Latson. She's adjusted to her role, but I think she's still working on it, right? Like I think
Mm-hmm.
she still maybe I don't want to speak for her, but like in her head about what her role really is and figuring
Yeah.
it out as she goes. And so I think that will get better. Like that's one that I'm certain she will adjust and she'll get better. She is a very, very good player, a legit WNBA draft prospect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see how she adjusts, as well as the freshmen who I think will earn more playing time throughout the year. It's still the depth for me that's a little whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they're around the same that they were. Next, I want to move to Ohio State, who we mentioned very briefly, so we'll talk about very briefly here. They only have one loss, number one UConn, beat West Virginia, but we don't know how good West Virginia is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're still like a fringe top 25-ish team to me. Is that kind of about where you'd have them?
Yeah, I do. I mean, they have a great backcourt with Jelani and Chance. I think their post play can be a little questionable at times. I think that might hurt them, especially in the Big Ten. So, see how they kind of use their strengths to their ability, which is their guard play right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then last team I want to hit on, we actually haven't talked about them a lot because this was the first week that they've played some real matchups, right? That's Iowa State, and you can't talk about Iowa State without mentioning Audie Crooks, who broke her own record, career high 47 points against Indiana. Oh my God, like I've said it since she was a freshman, she's one of my favorite players to watch. She's so fun. She can be so dominant. Uh,
Right.
She's just incredible. Like what she was able to do, she took over. Her and Shea Chesky on Indiana's side, who was also very impressive. It
Yeah.
was then back and forth, back and forth. It was such a fun game to watch.
It was. And I think Audie, she, like, yes, her size, but then she has great footwork and she has great touch around the rim. And I think that's kind of an underrated part of her game. And then her guards, they have beautiful over the head passes. I mean, they know exactly how to put it where she can only grab it and score. So I think with that combination, that's what makes Iowa State kind of tough to guard.
Well, she knows what she can do and she does it very well, right? Like she doesn't try to do things that aren't within her role. She knows her role and she's not,
Hmm.
I don't want to say perfected that role, but she's gotten very good
Yeah,
at performing that role. Uh,
exactly.
Very impressed with her. That was a big win for them against Indiana, their first kind of real, I don't want to call it resume, but kind of a resume win. I'll give it to them for Iowa State. So that's kind of where we're at after Feast Week. A lot is going to be happening this week. Like we mentioned, the ACC SEC Challenge, and we'll be back next week, surely with so much to talk about. And I'm excited to get to it, watch some basketball. I'm going to be texting you about that Miami-Kentucky matchup. We'll see what happens. Excited to see it. And as always, great to talk to you, Genesis, and hope everyone has a great week. Thanks for tuning in.